everybody, welcome back. Index Card a Day 2017 with me, Creative Katie, Karen Birchall. It's card number 36 and I'm actually on prompt. The prompt is perfume and I was excited to be able to use some magazine clippings that I've had in my stash probably since the beginning of my art journaling career. So I had that bottle on the side and wasn't sure what I was going to do or how I was going to do it. And then I realized that this coffee filter was very close. The orange in it matched the orange that was in the perfume bottle. I thought, okay, done. So I crumpled up the coffee filter and then I'm applying it onto a gessoed card. And I'm just piecing it along the way. And I've talked about how wonderful it is to create backgrounds and do collaging with colored coffee filters. And I hope you give that a try. It is, it is a wonderful thing and it makes it very quick and easy. This ICAD took under 20 minutes from beginning to end. And part of that was because the color was done and the texturizing for the background was also done because I crumpled the paper and then I collaged it. So it's a quick, easy way of getting things done. I also had the perfume bottle in my stash. So when you collect things and have things in the ready in your stash, then your actual creating time can be shorter. And if you absolutely need to get in there and do some creating, but you don't have hours to spend, this is a good way of getting the creative time in and yet limiting it. I'm just taking some of these pieces and just layering it on top, and that just is adding even more interest and more texture to the finished card. As I'm editing this video, I'm thinking, okay, now when I've had this background would have been the perfect opportunity to splatter gold on this. There's a little bit of gold in there was on the coffee filter, but not very much. And I should have, at this point in time, put it on before I put the focal point on, before I put the words on. Put that in note to self for next time. So I really am liking using the gel medium to adhere the coffee filter. I used to use Mod Podge all the time and that works fine, so if you have that you can use it, but I'm finding that I have a preference for it to use it with the coffee filters. It just works really well together. So I found in amongst my magazine clippings a quote, a sentiment that said message in a bottle. So I'm playing on that sentiment. That was kind of my aha moment. Okay, this is where I can go. And I'm putting the word love in the bottle. So that's my message in a bottle. And I just used, excuse me, black acrylic paint to accomplish that. If you use acrylic paint with your stamps, make sure you wash them right away. You don't want that to dry because it will ruin your stamps. So now I'm gluing the bottle on, and it's not 100% on, and that always makes for an interesting composition. And going to give it a quick dry. Now I'd looked through my sentiments, my ready-to-go sentiments that I had printed off, and I didn't have any. And I decided, I want to go with that message in a bottle, but I didn't want to move my computer and print it off and do that just for one thing. So I grabbed my little stamps here and am just stamping with black acrylic paint. I'm putting the black acrylic paint onto the letter stamp with a makeup sponge and then just stamping on some white paper. I didn't want to stamp directly onto the card because, as you saw, sometimes I've made mistakes and, I just wanted to limit that, but you could have done that as well. I don't do enough of this to have gotten very good at it. And I'm not trying to make everything perfectly straight by choice. I'm deliberately not, so that if it's off a little bit and a little bit wonky, it all looks good together. So I'm cutting out the sentiment. And after a little bit of a play, I'm trying to figure out how I want to put this, kind of putting it not straight as well. Thought about coloring it, but I didn't know which color to do it. I should have, in retrospect, maybe edged this in black to make it stand out a little bit more, but that you could have done that. I'm taking the makeup sponge and the acrylic paint, the black, and edging this in black just to frame. And I apologize for being off. You know, I zoom in so that you can see up close what I'm doing, and then I get busy in creating and forget. So I decide I want the word love a little bit bolder, so I just thinned some black acrylic paint that I had out on my palette, and I just am using a liner brush and just darkening the word love. So I grab my Stabilo All Pencil, and I'm just outlining the makeup bottle or the perfume bottle and the sentiment. I could have done floating with the black acrylic paint. I could use a watercolor pencil if that's what I have. This is what I had at the ready. So I'm just tracing around it and then activating with water. And that just makes it pop all the more. And it kind of makes everything work together. Just adding a bit, I've got the black acrylic paint there. I'm just adding a little bit, making it a little bit darker, basically because it's there. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the close-ups of this ICAD. Love the rich colors in this background. Here's a close-up of the texture and interest and the colors that you get from the coffee filter. Yummy. Another close-up. Thanks again. See you next time.